Celebrating your loved ones lost and coming together as a community is just around the corner. News Channel 10's Donnie Sanchez is live in the studio this morning and gives us more on the upcoming Dia de los Muertos event. Donnie, good morning, and I need help saying that a little bit. How are you?
You're saying it just fine. I am good. And yes, a chance to celebrate all children, family, and ancestors who have passed away. Dia de los Muertos, or Day of the Dead, is almost here. The Panhandle Historical Plains Museum will be hosting their own event for Dia de los Muertos, and the community can spend time with past loved ones and view ofrendas, or altars, that showcase pictures and memorable pieces.
I think it takes away the fear of, I think a lot of us are, have a little bit of fear of death. And so it gives us a new perspective on, it's okay, we're all going to go there, and instead of making a sad event, why not celebrate it, right?
The Amarillo Hispanic Chamber of Commerce will be present with a guest speaker, and the event will take place on October 29th through November 1st. It is open to the public. Allie?